I'm at the Doc LA Film Festival here in Hollywood, getting ready to screen the film What's Eating Ralphie May. We're going to talk to the filmmakers and the producers, so keep it here. We're going in the know.
Ralphie May!
I'm sick of feeling like a monster. I'm sick of feeling like a monster all the time.
I'm here with Dr. Drew Pinsky, who's an addiction expert and also one of the producers of the film. We're getting ready to see the screening. What can audiences expect to see?
Gosh. Raw, moving. I think anyone who comes to see this film is going to be affected for a couple of days. And I don't think you're going to expect what you're going to see.
What was it like producing the film? I'm sure it was so emotional for you.
I really come on just to help out. These were the guys that really created the film. I just was a huge fan, loved Ralphie from way back. Met he and Lana 6 or 7 years ago. And just when he passed, I was deeply affected by it. And sort of Lana came into my life. She talked about this documentary. I just said whatever I could do to help because I wasn't sure what was going to be in it, frankly. And then I saw it and I just thought, oh my God. People have to see this. I can't wait to be a part of it.
Did you know him on a personal level beforehand?
I mean, as much as you can be, sort of working together and being. I just saw him do things I've never seen any other performer do with an audience, and I just had so much joy from him. And you know, I followed him to Las Vegas one day. I just happened to be there, and I saw that he had I didn't know he was at the Malleys, and I literally broke my way into his performance. And he was very kind, and we spent the evening together. And that was the last time I saw him. Next thing I knew, he was gone, and that was a major, major, major loss. And the story is a story that I'm very familiar with. You know, these are common problems. I wish I could have done something to help him, but deeply poignant. It's a story of addictions of various types, a story of codependency, a story about a family. Ralphie was a human and he suffered a lot, and that these are common conditions. And take a look. You'll find yourself in most of in some of the struggle that's going through, this family's going through. You'll find yourself in there somewhere.
Yeah. Dr. Drew, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
I just want a happy ending.
I'm here with Lana Turner, who's the producer and subject in the film, but she's also the late Ralphie May's wife. As somebody who was in his life every day and has known him as long as you have, what feelings are you going through right now as we are getting ready to see the screening?
That's a good question. Well, we screened it last week in Nashville. We premiered it and screened it twice. And honestly, I'm like really proud of the film and really excited to be here. It's wonderful, but it's really hard because it's like the worst year of my life, or like it's really hard. But I am extremely proud. It's a good film. I'm happy, but it's a mixture. It's a mixed bag.
For those of you that are not familiar with Ralphie May's story, he was a comedian, and this documentary was originally going to be about something totally different. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, like any good documentary, it doesn't end where you want it to. And unfortunately, it didn't end anywhere near where we had hoped. The documentary is supposed to be a weight loss doc. It was supposed to help extend his life, and he's not here to enjoy this premiere.
What message do you want audiences to walk away with after viewing this film?
I think that the best message is that the only person you can change is yourself. And as much as you might want sobriety and a healthy life for somebody else, all you can do is try and help yourself get through that, because ultimately they have to be the ones to make the choice to change. And addiction is a beast. It's a really hard thing, but you can't force that sobriety on somebody else. And you yourself might also need to look at what you can do to how you're a part of that addiction. You're a component in it as well. So I hope people see this and maybe they can take the positive steps towards a positive change. That's a really long-winded answer, but
it's an important answer, and it's an important message. Without giving anything away, what would audiences be surprised by after viewing this film?
Oh my. You know, I don't know if it's a surprise, but it's definitely a roller coaster. It's very funny at times, and it's very sad. And I think some people who've heard stories might be surprised that some of the things they thought were not true. It's a really honest movie.
Looking forward to seeing it. Thank you so much, Lana.
Thank you. Thank you so much. When I first met him, I thought, this is a simple fix. 2.5 pounds a week, right?
How many years ago was that?
16 years.
I'm here with Kat Reinhardt, director of the film, and we just saw the screening, so I have a whole different set of questions for you than I did for everybody else. But first off, what was it like directing a film like this?
It was strange. It was supposed to be a weight loss film, so I set out with that in mind, and I was hoping that there would be a more interesting story that would develop, but I thought it would be, I was kind of looking to explore the angle of like a family of entertainers on the road, and that was what I was going for. And then things slowly started to fall apart, and it just got really dark, and I wasn't really sure what to make of everything. So it was always surprising, I guess would be the best word for it, and unexpected.
Very unexpected. And Ralphie May's death in 2017 was also very unexpected, and you were faced with the decision of what you were going to do with this film. And how did you come up with the idea to continue to keep going?
So I had a cut of the film that I was kind of working on. Yes, Ralphie said, even though he was obese, I couldn't have imagined that would happen. It was very shocking when he died. And I went back, I just decided, well, this is the new ending, and decided to just go film an epilogue. I went and filmed an epilogue with Lana, Ralphie's widow, and their 2 children, and just like basically add that on to the end. You just kind of have to roll with everything that happens, with keeping the truth in mind.
There's a lot of themes in the film. What would you feel like would be the biggest one?
I think the biggest one, the one that's the most like relatable and human, is that you can't change someone. I think that it really becomes a story about a person who loves someone and sees the writing on the wall as far as what they're doing, but then can't get them to, she couldn't make him change as much as she tried, and it's kind of sad. It's hard to watch, and I think a lot of people have experienced that.
It really is truly relatable on so many levels because, you know, it's about addiction, but it's also a story about just the human experience, really. When you were looking through all of that footage, did you have this idea already in mind, or did the story kind of unfold while you were viewing it?
When I decided to edit the film, I realized, going into the edit, I realized that the story was about trying to get someone to change. Like, it was going to be a weight loss documentary, and then Ralphie canceled his surgery and then brought a personal trainer on the road. So it was like, here's this new hope. And then that didn't work out. So, and there was just always like, and then she's, you know, he files for divorce and they get back together, but then she's still like, hey, you know, she can't help but like keep trying to get him to change, and he's gonna go on this walk. Or there was always like the solution just right around the corner. And that was kind of the backbone of what I was looking for.
And it came to be something totally different. And you spent a lot of time with the family and with the children. And there was one scene where you really got Ralphie to open up and tell you so much. Did you do anything specific to kind of have him be so comfortable in that conversation?
I think, so one of the best things about the film, that's also one of the worst things about the film, was that I was a one-man band. It was me. There was no crew. It was me with the camera. I ran sound through the camera. And so, you know, a lot of times the camera is like, shake, you're out of focus, because I'm like trying to decide where to point it, and I had no other camera angles, and it doesn't always sound the best because like I didn't have a sound person there. There was no crew. But I think that it's worth it because some of the more intimate things that happened in the film, I think, was because it was just me and they were comfortable with me. That interview with Ralphie, I was holding the camera, but then I was also like made sure that I was like looking at him and we were making eye contact. So I tried to make him feel like he was talking to me directly, even though I was filming. And I think that helped. But he was also just, I think he was just, I don't know, he was just like down that day to go in deep. But I did make sure I wasn't like behind the camera. I was like looking at him the whole time, and I think that made a difference. I don't know.
You did an incredible job. What message do you want audiences to walk away after seeing this movie?
It's like less about a message and more about a dialogue that I hope comes out of this. I think that Lana was, you know, it's very, very hard for her to, I think the fact that she's so raw and so open and so willing to put herself out there in that way, I think there's so many people who have gone through what she's gone through and experienced that, and a lot of them feel like they're alone. So it's, you watch this, and I think everybody's a little bit Lana and a little bit Ralphie at different times in their life. And I hope that people watching this realize that they're not alone. But more than anything, I hope they leave and it starts a dialogue. I just want people to have conversations around these issues. And that's what I'd like the takeaway to be, a continuation.
Absolutely. And what's next for you?
I'm writing a dark comedy, actually. It's a narrative I'm hoping to shoot this summer. I'm just working on that now, and we'll see. I don't know. Documentaries I love so much, but they take so long that I'm going to do a narrative next, and then keep my eyes peeled for just another great story.
All right. Well, we'll stay tuned, and we'll be watching. So thank you so much for this film. We really enjoyed it, and I hope everyone goes out there and sees it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.